Hey! That sounded terrible. Okay. I'm not the Fonz, whatever. I can't be the Fonz, I'll never be the Fonz. But, I'll tell you what I can do. I cannot watch porn. And that's worth something. Let's talk today about... This really does apply to so much more in life than just quitting porn, but it applies here too. And it's really important. So, there's a bug in here. Anyway, it's really important. So we do have to deal with it. But this isn't strictly like a how to quit porn thing. This is more like a how to actually be effective in general. The two key words here I'm going to touch on are consistency and commitment. When it comes to something like this, something like quitting porn, or really, any change in your life, anything you want to do, or anything that you want to quit doing, these are going to be major factors here, and really are going to be deciding factors, because it's consistency and commitment. It's easy to get real excited about something like this. You hear about, let's quit porn, and it'll be pleasing to God, and it'll have this and this and this in terms of benefits, and it's going to be great, and you just got to put the work in. And it's easy to get excited about something like that and to do really well for a little while, but then that excitement wears off. That state there doesn't last forever, and that's why you have to make a commitment, and you have to be consistent. What does that mean? It means deciding that you're going to do this no matter what, no matter how you feel. It's a funny car. No matter how you feel, no matter whether you want to or not. It's basically making this decision that this is going to be a goal, and this goal is more important than how you feel at any given moment. And a commitment is a commitment. It's choosing to make the same decision whenever you're presented with the choice, regardless of whether that's the decision you want to make in the moment, regardless of whether there's any reason that you can see. If you're having doubts about whether this is as beneficial as people say it is, or you're having doubts about whether it's really that big of a deal in terms of, pleasing God and not sinning. If you have doubts about whether or not it is a sin, if you think, well, maybe not, I don't know. First of all, you know. And second of all, that's what the commitment is about. It's deciding to make the same decision when your judgment isn't, 100% on the same page as it was when you made that commitment. And consistency is the other thing, okay? You can't let anything slide. And this ties back into the no compromise thing. I did a video on, don't compromise or something like that. I forget what it was called. But you can't be having these compromises in your head. That's a lack of consistency. And if you're going to succeed in anything, you have to do it consistently, okay? You can't do it sometimes. You can't do it a little bit, okay? I'm reading a book right now, which is, I would say, is definitely not a really Christian-oriented book, but there's a lot of truth in it. And it sounds silly. It is silly. It's a silly book, but there's so much truth in it. It's called The Beginner's Guide to Being Awesome. So, definitely really heavy on the language and all that kind of stuff. So if that bugs you, then, I don't know, stay away. But there's a lot of truth in it, and there's a big emphasis on consistency. You can't show up to work sometimes. You can't show up to school sometimes. You can't kind of do your job. If you do, you will get fired, okay? You have to be consistent. You have to really put in effort and really go at it. And that goes for, mundane stuff like your job or school or whatever. And it also goes for life-changing stuff. Making behavioral decisions, quitting porn, all that kind of thing. You have to be consistent. You can't let stuff slide. You can't make compromises. You can't say, oh, well, I'll only think about it, but I'm not actually going to watch anything. You can't think, oh, I'll only watch stuff where there's, there's not genitals showing. I'll only watch softcore or anything like that. I'll just watch stuff that's non-pornographic and, get off like that. No, that's all compromise, and it's a lack of consistency, and you will fail if you do that. You're already failing if you're doing that. So make a commitment and be consistent, okay? Don't be halfway. Don't do this halfway. You have to do this all the way, or you're not really doing it. It's all or nothing, okay? You can't be 80% obedient and 20% disobedient. That 20% will sink you, and then that's kind of a line from another book. I forget what it's called. It's in, what's his name? Stephen Arterburns' Everyman series, which is an excellent series, by the way. Definitely recommend it. But you can't be 80% obedient and 20% disobedient, or 20%, just what I want to do, or 20% halfway. You've got to be all in. You have to be, if you're doing this, as part of your devotion to God, if this is part of your religious commitment, okay, what does that mean, the word religious? Okay, you have to do this religiously. You have to be devout. You have to be totally, wholeheartedly committed to doing this. There's no halfway here. If you're halfway in, then you're just not in. Be real. And if that's where you are right now, then yeah, be real with yourself. Admit, okay, this is something I want to do, but I'm not really in it. Admit that first, and then you can start to tackle that problem, okay? I've prayed so many times being honest and saying, God, I don't want to do whatever it is, but I want to do it. Does that make sense to you? I want to do it, because it's the right thing. You don't want to do it, but you pray that God will help you to want to do it. And in the meantime, you just obey. Even though you don't want to, you just obey. And in time, God is going to move in your life, and your will is going to change. It's going to line up more with God's will, and it's going to become easier to be consistent. But in the meantime, you've got to make that sacrifice. You have to choose to be consistent no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter what circumstances there are. If something rough happens in life, it's easy to want to say, oh, well, this is... It's tough, so if I slip up, that's understandable. Stuff happens in life that sucks, and it can get you down, but it's not an excuse, okay? Nobody is impressed with your excuses. God's not impressed with your excuses. God's not pleased with your excuses. He's pleased with obedience. He's pleased with faith. Having faith that, yeah, God's plan is still at work. I'm going to obey, no matter what. And I'm not going to lean on any kind of anything else, any crutch besides God. I'm going to lean on God and nothing else. All right. That's the mindset you need to be in. That you need to be in. I'm compressing my words or something. I don't know. But get into that mindset. Get serious. Get real with yourself. Be honest. And until you're at that point where you want to obey, just obey. Do it. Control your actions. Subdue your thoughts. Get to work on that. And I know it's difficult, but it's worth it. And if you're in this, then, you really don't have a choice but to go all the way, because otherwise you're not really in it. So that about covers it. If you like this video, if you like hearing my voice, then, hey, I do this all the time. Subscribe, check out my other stuff. I go over so much of this. There's too much to cover in one video. Too much to cover in one video series, even, I would say. So, check out my stuff. If you want to say something, leave comments. Don't be shy. If you want to hear me talk about something, say so. I'd love to, cover whatever people want to hear. I want to talk about what people want to talk about. That's why I'm here. God didn't put me on this earth for myself, and that goes for any of us. We're not put on this earth for ourselves. And I would like to, if I can, help as many people as possible. And I'm not a guru or anything. I don't have all the answers, but I've got some perspective from my own experience, and hopefully it'll help somebody. I wish somebody had, shared their experiences and stuff with me when I was trying to quit and failing, when I was trying to, figure out more of life and stuff. And I still have a long way to go, but even if I'd known the things that I know now, if I'd known those 5 years ago, who knows what would have been different. So anyway, that's kind of getting off on a little tangent there, but anyway, check out my other stuff, subscribe, like it if you like it, and I will talk to you later. God bless you guys. Have a great day.